A dramatic development in a case that many people had given up on. 3-year-old Stephen Bryan went missing more than 2 years ago in Indiana. Tonight, a local police chief joins me live with some great news. It is the perfect way to start the weekend. But we begin with that shocking ending. It's like a made-for-Hollywood legal drama. The ALEC Baldwin involuntary manslaughter trial. Now, you'll remember, he was charged after the gun he was holding on the Rust movie set went off, live round in the gun, bullet ended up wounding director Joel Souza, killing cinematographer Helena Hutchins. And the day began with the defense accusing the prosecution of holding back evidence that, frankly, by the way, may or may not have been all that relevant to the question of Baldwin's guilt or innocence. But you know what? Sounds important. It's a batch of ammunition that a third party, a so-called Good Samaritan, had apparently turned over to police after the recent conviction of the armor on the set of the movie Rust.
We're talking about the conduct of the prosecution. And that's exactly what we're talking about here, Your Honor. We're talking about a prosecution that didn't preserve those bullets, that didn't collect them at all, that didn't turn them over. Now, this is critical evidence in the case that was never disclosed to us. They could say it doesn't match, et cetera, et cetera. It does not matter. It did not matter in Allison. We were entitled to it. A continuance is not a sufficient remedy. This case should be dismissed, Your Honor.
And then came the highly unusual scene of the judge leaving the bench, putting on blue latex gloves, and examining the ammo herself, comparing it to the rounds found on the set. But if you thought it ended there, you would be wrong. It gets better, because the special prosecutor then called herself as a witness and testified under oath. And guess what? It didn't go very well, for the state, anyway. It was there we learned that the other prosecutor on the case, Erlinda Johnson, resigned today. She had just done the opening statements. Her colleague told the court it was because she didn't agree with the hearing being public, but Johnson appeared on Chris Cuomo's show tonight and says that is not the case.
First, let me give you a chance to respond what was said about you. Another member of the team said you left the team because you didn't like that this Brady hearing was public.
Absolutely not. Absolutely not. I left because I learned about this evidence when the public learned about it yesterday, late afternoon. I don't know if you're aware, I actually came on this case kind of late in the game. I came on the case towards the end of April, so I had to get up to speed. I was not involved in the Hannah Gutierrez case at all. And so I was not aware that this individual had taken this ammunition to the sheriff's department and provided it to the officers. I learned all of that yesterday when Mr. Spiro was cross-examining the crime scene technician. So I inquired some more. And this morning, when the motion hearing began, my position was during the lunch hour, before the lunch hour, during the lunch hour, we have an obligation as prosecutors. We have an obligation not only to the people, but to the defendant. Mm-hmm. And our obligation is to make sure that all the evidence is turned over. We don't get to decide what the defense is going to be. Our job is to ensure transparency and to ensure that the defendant has everything that the prosecution has gathered.
And by the way, the jury saw none of today's fireworks. They were sent home for the weekend, or maybe as it turned out, forever. And later, things got really ugly because Baldwin's lawyer accused the prosecutor of having a vendetta against his celebrity client.
The truth of this matter is you don't like Mr. Baldwin very much, do you?
You know, that is absolutely untrue. I actually really appreciate Mr. Baldwin's movies. I really appreciated the acting that he did on Saturday Night Live, and I really appreciate his politics.
You told one of the witnesses who disagreed with you during an interview that you thought Mr. Baldwin was a sucker.
I do not recall saying that. I know that that was something that Mr. Baldwin would say on the set of Rust. I don't recall saying that.
Do you deny that under oath?
Without having more information, I can tell you that I do not recall ever saying that. And if I did say it, I invite you to point it out to me.
You called him an arrogant prick To another witness.
To who? To what witness?
I'm asking you, did you call him an arrogant prick during a witness interview?
I don't believe I did. I don't recall.
Do you deny that?
Without knowing what you're talking about, all I can tell you is that I can't respond if I don't know what you're talking about.
It's funny she mentioned SNL because that was like an SNL skit. But back on the bench, the judge decided that the prosecution's conduct was either bad faith or very close to it and dismissed the case with prejudice.
The state's discovery violation has injected a needless, incurable delay into the instant jury trial. Dismissal with prejudice is warranted to ensure the integrity of the judicial system and the efficient administration of justice. Your motion to dismiss with prejudice is granted.
And to be clear, with prejudice means that charge can't be filed again. I want to bring in somebody who was in that courtroom, Lauren Matthias, the host of the Hidden True Crime podcast. Lauren, thanks so much for coming on. My gosh, what was it like to be in that courtroom today, particularly when the judge dismissed the case?
It was nothing like I've ever witnessed or been a part of before. The gasps coming from the gallery were audible. There were many people in tears. The shock, it just kept, you covered all of those shocking moments so well, Jesse. And as they kept coming, we just were, we were just like processing it all, dumbfounded, shocked, aghast. Oh my goodness. And when the judge dismissed the case with prejudice, honestly, there were many tears. We've been through, it has only been 3 days, but those of us in the gallery have been through a lot together in just 3 days. And what we have seen was so shocking. There was even a moment where the prosecutor that you saw there was Morrissey was touching the evidence, and she grabbed it, and then Spiro, the defense attorney, said, "Don't touch the evidence," and she said, "These have been rolling around for 3 years." I mean, you mentioned SNL, it sort of was like that because you couldn't make it up. You didn't know what to think. But in the end today, when all was said and done and these charges were dismissed, I think there was gratitude, and the emotion was so strong. And to see not just ALEC crying, but his sister weeping, to see his brother crying, to see him grab his wife and hold her, it was a really powerful, touching moment that I will never forget.
I actually thought this would happen. And I went on Elizabeth Vargas's show and said, based on just the judge's conduct and some of the comments that she was making, the way that she questioned one of the state witnesses, I wouldn't be surprised if she dismisses the case. And then she ended up dismissing it 20 minutes later. But there was you talked about a gasp. I think we were all shocked when we learned that Erlinda Johnson resigned. Was that a gasp in the courtroom? Was everybody like, what just happened?
It was an absolute gasp. The moment they said, and Erlinda Johnson had resigned, none of us knew that. We had all just spent the morning together. And we saw actually Erlinda Johnson walk out for the lunch break. And she was there. And all of a sudden, we learned through the fact that the prosecutor herself calls her to testify, or calls herself as a witness, and during cross-exam, oh, by the way, side note, Erlinda Johnson, your teammate, just resigned. Oh, an absolute audible gasp that you could not hide within the courtroom.
By the way, what about Carrie Morrissey jumping on the stand? She wanted to do it. She called herself. What was that like?
Never seen anything like that. We were all wondering, Jesse, if ALEC Baldwin was going to testify. No one was questioning whether or not the prosecutor was going to testify. Right. That was a plot twist. And to have her so confidently do it, too. The judge kind of gave her like a second chance. Like, are you sure? Do you really, really want to do this? You're doing this on your own. You're asking for this. And defense attorney Spiro, are you okay with this? And she's like, I'm okay with this. And she said, yeah, I want to do this. She absolutely wanted to. And she walked up there. She gave herself a monologue because, she's the sole prosecutor left. And then cross-exam started. And as you pointed out, it did not go well.
Lauren, I hope you could clear something up for me. Was the first time the defense or any of us knew about this evidence, the ammo that was presented to the sheriff's office and presented to the prosecution, was yesterday the first time anybody knew about it? I mean, do we know when the defense found out about this ammo?
Was absolutely the first time any of us heard about it. And it was shocking because who brought the live rounds in was such a big part of Hannah's trial too, to make a point. And to learn throughout these last 3 days that really there's a lot of questions as to where these live rounds came from and who brought them in. And was it the supplier, and was it Hannah, or was it a completely other source that we don't know about? Through such a wrench and everything, like, how did the live rounds get on this movie set? And it was the first time we'd ever heard that a good Samaritan walks into the police station, says, by the way, I have a box of evidence.
Yep.
And by the way, it's live rounds. No, it was the first time any of us had heard this.
Lauren, I will tell you, I know you follow these cases a lot. I don't know if you're ever going to be in a courtroom quite like that before, again, moving forward, but it was really something to watch. And, you know, I appreciate you giving your take on what it was like. It looked incredible. What an ending to a case. I don't think anybody predicted this. Lauren, Matthias, thanks so much for coming on. Appreciate it.
Thanks, Jesse.